Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Ammar, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, I am absolutely thrilled to have Lee Beup and Stan Podolski, the co-founders at BLE Tech, a cutting-edge technology company helping global organizations streamline and digitize their operational processes through customized AI-powered software solutions. With over 20 years of experience in building high-impact marketing engines across Fortune 500 companies and startups alike, Lee is now applying that expertise to help scale Bleed.io from zero to category leader. Stan, Lee, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you for having us.
Amazing. I'm super excited to dive in. So I always like to start from the beginning. Take us back to before you guys started the company. What was the motivation, the inspiration, and what problems were you hoping to solve in the market?
I'll let Stan finish the story. Let's just say the first problem that he was looking to solve wasn't in the market, but it was in his own home. And he could take over from here.
Take us away.
Yeah, that's right. I'm huge enthusiast of smart home. I have like a lot of stuff at my home. I have about 500 smart devices in my home. So my home is my home lab, in fact, and my wife is living in my home lab. My smart hub went down. She was totally not happy about that. And this is how it started because she said, go and fix it. We are fixing it. Turned out the issue is not about my home or my smart home hub. It's about the whole industry because devices not we were promised that IoT is going to be great and it will do a lot of good stuff. And turned out, yes, it can, but the problem is, okay, when you bring in IoT to your office Wi-Fi or home Wi-Fi, it's not that good. It needs like other connections that actually is going to be good.
So the dissatisfaction that Stan was and his wife were feeling, he went on to solve his home challenge by implementing and writing a software that utilizes BLE Mesh Networks, which is an alternative wireless technology that's relatively new. The genius of it is he's able to push all of his devices down to this BLE Mesh network, and they don't require the internet or any kind of central, so they don't go down. And
they're not vulnerable.
They're not vulnerable. And so when you think about, and I always shudder to bring up AI because everyone's talking about it, but that only works with clean data, uninterrupted data. So if you take what Stan built in his home lab and put it into the hands of large manufacturers who need that data to optimize their business, they can't get it if they stay with the traditional hub and spoke. So we're out in Austin in a few weeks speaking specifically about this to a World Tech Forum that needs to understand if they want AI to work, they need to think about connectivity differently. I guess the other piece I'll put in the middle there is from what Stan solved at home to what we thought we solved with some of the other co-founders, we brought out to an integrator event. And what we've realized in the 6 months since is this is not about home systems. It's nice, it works. We're solving bigger problems now and talking to people in the energy space, in the Department of Defense, in manufacturing, because they see the utility of a device-to-device network. So little home solution into major opportunity. It's been a pretty wild ride.
Yeah, that's a pretty classic entrepreneurial story. It's like your wife is mad about something and you have to figure it out. And then all of a sudden, a company spawns.
That's right. That's right.
We got to thank the wives out there. But help us understand. Let's say I'm a complete layman when it comes to technology, which I am. So help us understand for the listeners, what is the core like ICP in terms of who your company works with, and what are the different offers and solutions that are provided with working with your company?
Yeah, our ideal customer profile, we joke around about it a lot, but we like to find people that have started projects with IoT and then they've failed. And I'm not being glib about that. The reality is 7 to 8 out of 10 of IoT projects fail. And they fail,
What
but
is IoT?
Internet of Things. So
Internet of Things. Got
yeah,
it.
smart devices, smart homes. You walk in a room, it senses your motion, the light goes on, that counts. A sensor on a piece of machinery to make sure it's not overheating, that counts. It's a big spectrum. Anyway, the failure rate, and those are people evaluating their own projects, isn't surprising because of what Stan mentioned before. When you have that single point of failure, this centralized traditional connectivity model, you are, as you said earlier, you're suspect. You're exposed to blips and outages and security. When people run an IT project and eventually it doesn't work properly, they all blame the same thing. It's the connectivity, being tethered to that centralized piece. For us, being able to inform them that they could move 60 to 70 or more percent of their traffic down to a decentralized network that has no hub, where the devices connect directly to each other, where they create and share bandwidth, is just a way better model, better mousetrap for connected device strategies. What we're not for is videos and streaming music. We are for purpose built, on the ground signals, alerts, data collection, the things that you don't want interrupted, that don't need to be interrupted anymore.
The
So-
first time we demonstrated on the CD exhibition, we had a dimmer and we had a bulb. And these are two separated devices connected wirelessly. And when I was like demonstrating how dimmer works and bulb reacts immediately, everybody was, oh, so cool. Where is the hub? And we like, there is no hub. It's a magic.
Right. That's the point. That's why it's fast, because they're direct to direct. So again, we got to thank the wives in this, because you'd think a dimmer and a bulb would be like not so great at a trade show in 2024. People couldn't get enough of it. They couldn't imagine it working without the internet.
Yeah. It is a paradigm shift in a sense, because it's like, what, we thought this was required the whole time. So I'm trying to think of use cases in my mind.
A good point. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, it's been like faster. We can put more repeaters out here with Wi-Fi. We can put extenders. And Google went and did that. They just built this brand new campus. And to solve for some of the challenges of this beautiful building with the glass and the steel and the cement, they put routers everywhere, which made everything worse. So you're right. It is a weird paradigm shift, because people are thinking speed, and we're saying, yeah, but you can get speed by less is more, like addition by subtraction. Take the relay hub out if you don't need it. And that way, those dimmers and the lights, they work immediately. Because I don't have a smart home. I'm not allowed to do that. But everyone that is, they turn a light switch on, there's a delay, because it's going switch, router, cloud, back down to the light. We just do this.
Wow. So obviously, from a civilian perspective, smart home devices, basically everything you could use with something like this. But then I could also see from like a government perspective, from a national security perspective.
Right.
That's right.
Huge application points. So help us understand more of the use cases that you guys are going after and targeting. And I'm also super curious, how would a company like yours actually generate revenue? Where is the revenue coming in from? Is it from selling the devices, somebody being part of the decentralized network? I'm trying to wrap my head around that a little bit more.
Yeah, so we're a hybrid company. We developed a SaaS to work with any and all hardware out there, so it's agnostic. But then we've come to find out that a lot of the applications and use cases from our customers will require some specialized hardware. So we have a hardware manufacturing arm as well. We just got off our weekly call with our sales team, and what we're focused on is signing contracts for subscriptions for our SaaS, and those will be multi-year contracts. They'll be scaled by the number of devices and the complexity with which the setup entails. And then, of course, there's the hardware sales. And as I said before, a lot of them, we envision ourselves to be the sole sourcer. So from a customer retention, lifetime value, we believe there's so much utility here. In fact, we start to think of ourselves as a utility that people why would you get rid of something that makes your business run better? In terms of the actual use cases, we also are using an analogy called the Fruit Loops analogy, where Fruit Loops have 5 different colors, but they all taste the same. It's very much window dressing. So our core technology is what it is. Right? It's the ability to have these decentralized networks and to see and observe different classes of devices and what they're doing and how they're moving and a bunch of other information. That said, for a mining operation, they're interested in understanding where their assets are 1.3 miles underground. There's connectivity that can link and hop to get down there, except for ours. For a big energy company, when particularly in bad weather, they're looking to have a redundant communications layer in and around their service yard so they can understand where their assets are, where their people are, who's here on the grounds that is part of our team, and who's here that's a vendor. Are they in bad areas? Are they in that type of thing? We've got another organization, the U.S. Olympic Museum, who's just looking to solve kind of what Google was trying to solve, which is how do I make my smart experience work? They had a lot of tech in there, so we're helping them sort that out. Some of the newest opportunities that have a lot of velocity and a lot of traction as a result are with smart cities. So these are smart municipalities, excuse me, where the decision-making authority, if you will, is pretty limited, pretty centralized. And we're lucky to meet a few of these folks, and they want to do things like event management. They want to know within a certain virtual perimeter they can set up how many people are coming in just by looking at random signals. Where are my police? By looking at registered signals. Where are my emergency vehicles? Where are my ambulances? Where are my concessions? Is the traffic flow working? So a bunch of different, call them use cases, but same underlying technology.
The biggest differentiator part of our technology is that it's portable network. And we can create that network in advance, just bring it where it required and drop it. And it like creates itself. So when I'm demonstrating devices on the exhibition, I don't do a network provisioning and exhibition. I have provisioned in my office at home. So I'm bringing all the devices, just dropping them, and they're organized in the network themselves. That's like the biggest point, because that's not achievable with the other technologies for now. This is what it's funny that we are like 21st century firefighters going into the buildings still have no basic connectivity to the captain sitting in the fire tank, to the coordinator. They have walkie-talkie, but this is it. And you cannot use walkie-talkie much when you're like already the building on fire. So what we provide is for them to know if actually where the people are and what's happening with them. If they have enough oxygen, are they like comfortable enough? Is it something happening to them? Because right now they're using 3M hand tool device. That's like they need to go there and use that hand tool to locate the person if something happened to it. We can give them that information immediately in real time. That's a big deal for them.
That's another municipality opportunity is first responders, big time.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So I can see this being revolutionary in a sense, if it can have mass adoption through a bunch of different people. So help me understand that part when it comes to the marketing, when it comes to actually onboarding customers, bringing people in. What are those main tactics when I guess lead generation, in a sense, I guess you could call it. But I'm going to make an assumption here. Please correct me if I'm wrong, that the main challenge here is re-education in terms of the power of this, or do you find that people like get it pretty quickly?
No, I think you're right. There's definitely an education piece. We've gotten better at helping people land on their aha moments sooner than later. Centralized versus decentralized, that seems to work it. And to answer your first question around going to market and what we're doing, we are attending summits and meetings where there's technically focused people or people with business problems. We just spoke at Smart Cities a month ago. Stan was a panelist in an aviation show. So we're really approaching this from a thought leadership perspective. As I mentioned, we're speaking again in June and in August at a couple more events as a way to both attract customers, but also potential investors or DoD traction. I think what everyone tends to align on is the fact that the internet stinks, right? Wi-Fi stinks, right? Everyone can agree with that. For many of us at an exhibition show, it's terrible because there's thousands of people there and it's an inconvenience. But for 90% of the world, whether you're manufacturing something, defending something, protecting a city, it's more than an inconvenience. It's very serious. And so when people are educated that there's this alternative wireless technology out here that doesn't require the hub, which means you are free from all of those issues, that's when we start getting interest spun up. As far as the last thing I'll say, just in terms of our go to market and our onboarding, that's all new for us right now. We're literally talking about it an hour before here is what does a new customer look like? We're that early on in the stage.
That's exciting. That's exciting stuff. I'm glad to have you guys on now. And then that way I can see the growth and see the progression.
That'd be cool.
Are you looking for investors? Or are you looking for people to come in and do some rounds of funding? Because I do have some connections there that I could connect you if that's something.
We have just started our fundraising round just this month. We have been on a startup grind in California just a couple of weeks ago. That was our first semi-public speaking to investors about our fundraising needs. So yes, we are raising now. We are doing it on a seed round. And we are welcome new people to talk to us and give them an idea what's actually happening is, because the future is actually, it's bright. And we can just make it faster with the help of other people, but we are making it.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need to be able to address the demand that we're creating. And we have one salespeople, and it's neither of us.
Yeah. That was the next thing I wanted to go into is what does that sales process look like? Because there's a lot of SaaS founders that listen to this, and I think that would be helpful in regard to see your approach. Is it outbound? Is it inbound? What does the steps in the process look like? Just briefly help us understand that.
And I'll say this, it's mostly outbound now, and it's follow-up to all of these events. What I would say to other founders is, as we are moving along in our journey, I would encourage them to focus on something I call the customer verified pipeline. So as you get sales, you want to deconstruct the sales and look for common events that have happened. These are binary things. And statistically, it's a better way to build your sales pipeline. You don't go after a progression of things. You go after a collection of events. I saw their invoice. I met the plant manager. In our case, we know one of them that will be in there is an on-site proof of concept. That's going to be something that's going to be part of our sales process. So now, with that as our first rock in the Japanese rock garden, what are the other events that lead up to sales? Because our goal over time is to operationalize that like any other process. And then we can bring on salespeople and say, this is the playbook. Go get a POC, have them download something from the web, have them get a white paper. But we're still figuring those things out. But I would encourage your SaaS people to not think of sales as a black box, but something you can really understand and leverage.
That is such a great point. And I think that's the power of having a proper CRM with proper attribution on all of your different landing pages. That way you can see, like I could go into somebody's account and I could see, okay, they landed on this page, but they didn't go to this page. And then 2 weeks later, they downloaded this lead magnet. And then a week later, they booked a call after watching this video. Understanding that is so powerful because then you understand, okay, the people that bought, actually 80% of them came from this funnel. So why do we have 5 funnels? Let's just focus on this one. So great call out. Paint us the vision for the future. If you were to think about your goals, your vision, where you want to take the company, maybe, in the next 1 to 3 years, what does that look like?
I'll answer, and Stan can too, but I think we're aligned in this. We want to build a mixed-use manufacturing facility here in southeastern Pennsylvania and really start to help this area grow into its ambitions to be a technical hub. And this would be a software shop, but also a hardware manufacturing shop, technical manufacturing jobs, hundreds of them. Because when you look at our addressable market, if we're just to garner 10, 15% of it, which sounds like a lot, but as the first and only mover right now in this space, if we can get scientific and aggressive and efficient on the closing side, why couldn't we be a $2 billion company in outside of 5 years? There's the contracts, the retention, and the scale, right, for some of these companies.
Yeah, what we are looking right now, and we have technology that enables so many different things. So every time we are going to different exhibition, and we went to quite a few of them. We've been on DoD conference, we've been on tech summit with commercial integrators, we've been with smart cities, we've been on aviation exhibitions. Everywhere we are going, people coming to us and asking us, can your technology do that? It's like somebody came to us, can you put sensors inside the engines, jet engines? Because we are doing maintenance for them, but we are doing it by hours. Like to know if maybe there is a vibration in it, extra vibration that we don't have any visibility right now. And we say, yeah, it's totally possible that we can do it. So they're coming to us with their ideas. It's not like we are pushing our ideas to them. So we are struggling with demand, in fact.
Yeah, no, that's a great problem to have. And that's also a great spot to be in terms of helping or them telling you this is what we want to use this for, because that's like customer feedback in real time that can then be repurposed for some sort of marketing to reach a broader audience. So that's all exciting stuff.
Yeah, said.
This is going to be an interesting question for the two of you. What's one tool or resource that's been a game changer for you guys so far in your company?
I will say resource. I'll say resources. We've recently added 2 people to the team, one in product management and another helping us with our front end. So for me, that accelerated a lot of our timelines, but also improved the quality of our just thoughtfulness as a group. Because for a while, it's been me, Stan, and Brad, our salesperson.
Yep.
And to bring a couple of other people here that are stateside, we have other founders and overseas. This has been great.
And the other one, I would say that you always need to first find out who your customer is. Because what we have started doing initially, when we were just starting the company and we thought, okay, that's great technology and we are going to use it for light applications, the bulbs, switches, all that stuff. And then have started talking to our prospective customers, and they get back to us and said, no, it's like, you need to do bigger. We want it in other areas. So the first part in your company should be the customer discovery, because you might think you have a great idea, but market can always correct you.
100%. 100%. There's a lot of, it'll humble you very fast. That's
right.
Yeah. Awesome. What's the best way for people to reach out to you guys?
Check out our site, io.com. We're also pretty active on LinkedIn. But yeah, jump on the site or follow us on LinkedIn and stay up to date with all things Bleed.io.
Yeah, just Google the name. It's so unique. You don't miss it.
I love it. I love it. So that wraps up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Thank you so much, Lee and Stan, for sharing your journey and your insights with us today. I'm super excited to see the future of the company evolve. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you're looking to scale your company and you're looking to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, if you're a coach, consultant, or an agency, check out closers.io to discover how we can support your growth journey. Until then, keep on climbing.